All right, what's up, guys? Finally getting around to being able to film this video. Like, realistically, this last week has been insane. This last couple weeks with all the new offers and stuff we have going out has just been incredible. The amount of response that we've gotten back, the amount of calls that I've actually been on to try and break this stuff down. A lot of people find this stuff super interesting, and it's stuff that we've been doing for a while. We've been doing content marketing and all that stuff since about 2018 when we got with our mentor, Kate Buck Jr., and she taught us what her whole strategy was back then. And we've kind of been learning from her for the past few years, like with all the strategies that she learned from Digital Marketer and all the stuff that she got from Ryan Stewman and all those guys too, because she's really good friends, really well connected there. And she decided to help us try and build out our ClickUp to be able to do this full time. And so we got SOPs in here. We've got the workflows and all that stuff built out and all the tasking ready to go. And so I just kind of wanted to show you guys what that looks like. Because in recent months, obviously, with all the new tools and stuff we have coming out, we've been able to really streamline this process. But I want to give you a quick disclaimer, like this isn't AI generated content. That's not at all what we're doing. We're actually just using these tools to basically keep everything in your voice because your audience wants to hear from you. And if you really want to dominate a market and you really want a strong personal brand out there, you need to speak to the right people and you need to speak to them in your voice. And so I just kind of wanted to show you what our process is to help us accomplish that. And so without further ado, here is my presentation that I've been putting together. So this starts out with the strategy. Obviously, like we've got to start this out with a strategy session. We've got to nail down exactly who your target audience is. We need to know all of the pain points and desires, where they want to be, what they're struggling with, what exactly is in their way, and that kind of stuff too, because we can make content to speak to that. And then it speaks directly to them. And then they want to work with you because you're the one that solves the problem. And so what we've done is we've put this together inside of ClickUp where we can kind of collect all this data, but really this is our template for it and just the different things that we want to know about them. And so really just nailing down their demographics, nailing down what their location is, that kind of stuff. What are their goals? What are their frustrations? What are their objections? Where do they hang out? That kind of stuff. What is their personality type? And how do we go about selling to them? Because marketing in general goes hand in hand with sales. It just does. And so that's the whole point, is making sure that we have a marketing strategy that supports the sales process. And so once we've nailed down exactly who the target audience is, we then try to come up with a solid offer to offer them. And so, I've got some examples of the SEO offers we've been playing with. I've got some examples of our content offer and the different frameworks that we kind of use for that. But the biggest thing when you're making your offer comes down to the pain points and the desires of your target audience. And so once we've nailed down all that stuff, it really just comes down to market research. We really just need to do some SWOT analysis and try and figure out exactly where the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, that kind of stuff are. We want to figure that out for your competition. We want to figure that out for you. We want to figure that out for your industry in general. And so we just need to know exactly what people in that industry are trying to accomplish and how we can frame the content and ideas that we're putting out there around that and make sure that we actually get traffic from this stuff. And so really it comes down to our silo versus independent content. So just making independent pieces or trying to actually make things within a silo when we try and figure out what your content pillars are. And so really it's just the top subjects that people are talking about inside of your industry, the stuff that ranks the best. And then, like I said, just making independent content to kind of streamline that process too. And then it's pillar versus filler content. Obviously we want to make content for our pillars, but we also need filler content to make sure that we're covering other subjects within those topics too. And then we just repurpose that stuff from there. And then popcorn versus threaded. Like popcorn content is just content for the sake of content. It's just really just getting things out there so that we're active. And then threaded content is actually leaving it on a cliffhanger, like actually trying to get people to watch multiple reels, getting people to watch multiple YouTube videos, getting people to read multiple blogs, and having a strong interlinking strategy and stuff with that too. And then obviously it just comes down to short form versus long form copy, short form copy, long form video, short form video, that kind of stuff. And so from there, this is our process. Like this is where we kind of come in and we figure out exactly how we're going to distribute things, what the platforms kind of expect, and then also adhering to our customer journey, because everybody comes in at different phases of this customer journey. Everybody comes in like whether they're aware or not, whether they're considering whether they have a problem or not, whether they're actually evaluating you to actually do business with and that kind of stuff. And once they're in the evaluation phase, like we really need to have them invited in. We want to get them to opt in, give us their email, give us their phone number so that we can nurture them and that kind of stuff over time so that we can create a customer and then from there create an advocate. and make sure that they're out there just raving about us, raving about our service. They have a good time. And so realistically, I just kind of broke down what does 30 pieces of weekly content look like. And so obviously, you got one YouTube video, one podcast, one blog post. You blast it out with a newsletter. We put a few Facebook posts up. We put a few Twitter posts up. We put a few TikTok posts, Instagram, shorts, reels, that kind of stuff. And then from there, this is kind of the overview of the process that our team uses to make sure that we can adhere and accomplish this stuff. And so realistically, like the biggest thing that I see a lot of people suffer with is ideas. Like they don't know exactly what to make content about. They'll sit down and it's like that writer's block kind of phase, right? What do I make content about? What do these people actually want to hear? And so that's stuff that we're going to try and nail down for you when we get the market research done so that we can get enough ideas inside of our platform as possible so that you can just approve things and then you can just go film and then you don't got to worry about it. You just give us back a 15 to 30 minute video. And then from there, we'll just take that raw content and then we will make your YouTube videos for you. We will get that stuff posted for you. We will break out all the golden nuggets and make sure that you have posts across all platforms so that you're active everywhere. And that's really just this in a nutshell. And obviously, when it comes down to a marketing strategy, the biggest thing is that we want to adhere to this. Know, like, trust, right? Grow, engage, invite. We actually just want to grow our audience. We want to engage with our audience, and then we want to invite them to work with us. And then from there, it's just observe and listen, create and broadcast, distribute the content out there, make sure that we're actually active on all platforms, and then measure and adjust. So we want to make sure that we have metrics coming in so that we know what our efforts are doing. We know if things are performing. If they're not performing, we make changes, and then we listen to our audience, and then we start creating new content around that until we nail it down. And so that's really the strategy in a nutshell. And so obviously we have our different idea phases. We move things through a process and all that stuff, basically. But this is the basic overview. Like we really just want to create a YouTube video, repurpose that video into Reels, TikTok, Shorts. We want to repurpose that video into a blog post. We'll take the transcript from it, make that blog post, make the email newsletter so that you can blast it out there and get people on your channel as quickly as possible when you're posting. And then from there, extracting your message and your key points in your voice, and then creating as many pieces of content from that as we can. And so really, this is all the important things that we need to kind of keep in mind. Who is our target audience? Who are they in a nutshell? Do all of our market research, come up with our keywords, topics, that kind of stuff. We'll create like a little keyword list like you see here, and we'll make sure that we're actually targeting the top keywords inside of the market, and then we'll segment those out based on the intent. So does this person have a buyer's intent, or is this person just trying to learn more? Because like I said, adhering to the customer journey, people are at different phases in that customer journey. Some people come in, they're not aware of what's going on. They're not aware of what you do, and you need to educate them. And so the biggest thing is 3% of the market's ready to go at any given time, right? Up to 3 to 10%. If you really, really get out there and talk to these guys, you can nail down that 10%. But the thing is there's at least 40% of people out there that will convert over time. And as they convert, basically, they're converting at different phases of that customer journey, which is why we want to have content that covers every phase. And so really, this is just to kind of give you a visual of what this looks like. This is why SEO is important, because content has a different lifetime based on the platform that it's on. I mean, I'm sure you've put posts out on Facebook and they've died within a few hours. You've put posts out on Twitter and they've died within a few minutes. But the thing is if we're posting to YouTube and we're posting to Pinterest and we're posting a blog, that stuff is going to rank for a long time. So the more of that content that we get out there, the more we're educating our market, so we can get those people that are top of funnel. We can get those people that are middle of funnel. We're the ones that are educating them, and they love us for it. Basically, they're going to convert with us because we're the ones that showed them the problem. We're the ones that showed them that we're the experts about that problem. And we're the ones that basically introduced them to it in a nutshell. And so from there, they're going to convert with you more likely than anybody else who's in your network. And so this is just kind of a more advanced look at this. Like we try to get the YouTube video posted. We try and get the podcast stripped away from that. We post that on all platforms. We make sure that we have a blog post, newsletter, LinkedIn post. We're just trying to get coverage so that we can meet our conversion goals across the entire phases of the customer journey. And so that's the strategy. Now, this is what it looks like in our system that we've actually built out to manage this. So really, what I'm going to do is create that keyword list for you, get the most important questions answered, and I'll put those inside of the system for you. And then you can just basically go approve that stuff and then go film your content. And once it's filmed, you just shoot that content back to us, tell us it's ready for pre-production. We can move it into production from there, have our video editors go out and edit the video for you, and then we'll distribute it. And so what I do when I'm actually trying to come up with these ideas, I'll look at analytics. I'll actually go search for that stuff inside of YouTube. I'll go search for that stuff inside of, SEMrush or whatever keyword tools that we're using to try and make sure that we're actually getting traffic and to make sure there's not a lot of competition for it. We're always looking for something right in the center here because we know that that's stuff that's going to rank for us. And obviously we want to expand on ideas and stuff like that too, using like Answer the Public and all that kind of stuff too. And I will post all these screenshots with these ideas too, so that you can see why I posted the idea. It's not just ideas for the sake of content. It's ideas that are actually getting traffic. It's ideas that people in your industry are actually searching for. And then from there, you've got your content calendar. We go live on Wednesdays. We go live on Saturdays. Really just kind of depends on when your target audience is active. And then we'll take that transcript and basically segment everything out within our templates here. And so what is the idea here, right? This is kind of a visual of that last piece that I had there. Like, what does 30 pieces of content look like, right? YouTube video, podcast, transcription, making sure that we have the newsletter and stuff built out, the blog post, 7 tweets, 3 Facebook posts, and then whatever else. Like, really, this can change depending on what your market looks like, depending on where they're active. But the idea is that we want at least 30 pieces of content going live every week, Gary Vee style, Alex Hormozi style. Those guys have hundreds of pieces of content going out a month. And that's what you need if you really want to dominate your market, if you really want to have a strong personal brand. And so we really use tools like, Canva to try and streamline getting all these posts put together so that we can extract things from the transcript and then make them look nice. And then we can go post them around. And this is just a sample from one of our recent videos that we did for one of our clients here. Like I said, we put the ideas into the system. We get everything approved. He films the content. We edit everything. And then we work everything through our templates. And so basically what that creates is, these different titles, descriptions for LinkedIn carousels. And so this is what that carousel would look like. You can post that to LinkedIn. You can post that to Instagram, all that stuff too. So you're getting coverage there. We can even turn this into a short little reel and stuff like that too, just to have it, go slide by slide so that we're ranking from multiple different areas on that. And then from there, making sure we have our tweets going out, because we want to invite people back to watch the video. Once they're watching the video, we want to make sure that our description in the video is built out to send people back to our website, to make sure that we're ranking with the blog on Google, we're ranking with the video on YouTube. So we have the top 2 search engines in the world that we're ranking on. And then from there, creating little quotes and things like that so that we can post this stuff around as many places as we can. And like I said, all of this content is in your voice. This is stuff that you said. This isn't just generated content. And so that's kind of what it looks like trying to get to that 30 to 100 pieces. And then obviously, the blog post here so that we're ranking across the board. And so just to give you an idea of what our content kind of looks like, these are some of the YouTube channels that we've built up over the past year. These are some of our clients that we've been working with. And the biggest thing is like making sure that you have your branding and all that stuff too, so that we can tie all the content together so everybody knows that this content came from you and it reflects your brand the best way and the best light. And so making sure that we have the short form videos going out, making sure we have the blog posts posted. These are some of the styles that we were playing with our short form content, like we called the Hormozi style, the bold and brash. We have our crisp and clean, modern and modest. We have our pure and plain. So there's all these different formats that we can post things within so that, everything's not just this Hormozi style. We actually have this stack style. We have this other style that's just more simple and streamlined so that we're not trying to copy people, so that we make sure that it reflects your brand the way that your brand was meant to be reflected. And then from there, just posting things to Instagram and making sure that we have all that content tied together and making sure that it looks good and making sure that it's all streamlined and everything ties together with your branding. Same thing with this one, right? Same thing with these guys. These are just some examples of some ads and stuff that we can put together based on that content too. And then obviously we want to put memes out because everybody responds well to memes. And I'm sure you've seen some of these if you've watched my content over time. But the real big thing here when it comes to memes is not just random memes. We want to post memes that are relevant to your target audience, that are relevant to the problems that you solve. And so I can help you guys create these memes and all that stuff too. I do it on a regular basis, obviously. I've put a lot of this stuff out over time. And then from there, like I said, we want to make sure that your website is streamlined. We want to make sure the website looks good. We want to make sure that it reflects the brand the same way that the YouTube channel is reflecting the brand, the same way your Instagram is reflecting the brand, so that when they're on any of your channels, everything looks the same. They know it's you. They trust you. They come to trust you more because of that. And once we move to that know, like, trust phase, once they trust you, they're more than likely going to convert with you if you just ask. And then obviously we want to try and get as much information out there as possible, so we can create little infographics and things like that to showcase different things that you've been talking about in your content too. And then obviously two-step posts. So we want to get people to convert. And so that's the biggest thing, is not content just for the sake of content. It's content that converts people into clients. And then we just got some logo examples. Like, we've been at this a long time. We've started a lot of different brands. We tried a lot of different things. And so we've gotten an idea and nailed down the audiences that we've been targeting over the past few years. And so realistically too, I mean, yeah, we can generate AI images, but like I said, it's really in service of your clients. And this is something that I was just kind of playing with that I wanted to showcase here, that you can create different characters within these AI tools too. You can put those characters in different scenes. You can have different ethnicities and things like that too, so that you can create like graphic novels and things like that and really tell stories so that you can connect with your audience on another level. And then obviously we do 3D artwork, we do product images, we do product commercials, things like that. I've made a lot of video games. I've been programming and stuff for 10 years. And so it's stuff that I just kind of wanted to show from our portfolio. And so just to give you an idea of the different types of content that we can actually do, the different types of content that we can come up with. And like I said, it's not AI generated. We've been doing this for a long time. I went to art school 10 years ago to learn how to do all this stuff. And so we can make your artwork, we can make it from scratch, we can make sure that it reflects your brand in the best light. And then from there, making sure that we are tracking and measuring results. We need to know if we're getting results, because if we're not getting results, we need to make changes. And if we need to make changes, we need to test those changes against other changes. So A/B, split testing, that kind of stuff, until we nail down something that works. This is why I recommend that our clients don't run ads right out of the gates. Let's nail down your organic foundations so that we know what works. We know what people are responding to. We know if we're getting the right people back. And once we know that and we have a piece of content that's performing really well, then the number one thing to do with that content is to run ads behind it, because we know if it performs organically, it's going to perform when you start putting ads behind it. And so the realistic thing here is that we just want to dominate your market. We want to make sure you have the most visibility when it comes down to it. We want to make sure you're ranked number one across the board. We want to make sure that your YouTube channel is consistent and growing. And so that's the key here, is making sure that we actually get conversions, that we actually get people filling out our lead forms so that we can get clients, that we're generating sales automatically. And so that's, like I said, the long and short of it. That's really what the whole process is in a nutshell. I can show you guys different things here too. Like I said, when we get into your systems, we're going to want to redo your banners. We're going to want to streamline all of your thumbnails to make sure everything matches, so that people actually come back. They know they're in the right place. They know it's a video from you. They know what to look for. And then we want to make sure we're consistently posting on the same days at the same times. Because, I mean, think of it this way. When you're watching a show on ABC, you're watching a show on Fox or something like that, that show is set to go live on 6 p.m. on Sundays, right? And if it doesn't go live at 6 p.m. on Sundays, well, then they're going to lose their audience. People aren't going to come back. They're not going to trust the show. They're not going to want to watch it anymore. And so that's the idea that we're trying to go with here. It's the same thing with this, right? Like I said, we want to make sure that your branding is reflected across the board. We want to make sure that we tie everything together as much as possible, so that everything just works, so that we know everything just works. And so the big thing here too is that basically when they fill out your contact forms, we want to make sure that we're popping up leads. We want to make sure that there is lead flow. We want to make sure that things actually come into our Slack channel so that we can see things. So just to give you an idea here, what this kind of looks like, if I fill out the form on my website, I want to see this stuff pop up in the back end. Right. I want to make sure that this stuff is actually popping up inside of my Slack so that I can go act on it. I want to make sure that this stuff is popping up inside of my lead system so that I can actually come in here and make sure that I'm moving this person across. I can make sure that I'm adding them to different campaigns and stuff too. So this is the contact form that I just filled out. It's ready to go. I'm ready to add these guys to a campaign already so that we can nurture them. And so that's really the idea here. that's what we want to try and get going for all of our clients. That's what we want to try and get going for you if you start working with us. And so I just really wanted to break this process down. I can even go into more depth on it. If you have any questions, just let me know. I can totally answer those questions for you as we go. And really, thanks for watching. This was amazing. I love breaking this down for you guys. Thank you guys for being so patient waiting for this. Like I said, I really just wanted to make sure that we had the best presentation possible for this. I wanted to make sure that I got all the questions out of the way before I actually sat down to make this. If you guys are wondering about the pricing or anything like that, we can talk. Just schedule a call with me. I'll make sure my booking links in the comments below. And from there, like I said, if you really want to book a call, you really want to know what the pricing is, you want to have a couple of your own questions answered, just let me know. I'm happy to answer anything for you. Thanks, guys.